All right, cool. Just sent the report to Kyle. I'm going to log off early. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, hey, already? God, I wish I were logging off early, man.
Well, I'm going to a wake, so.
Oh, cool. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Which lake are you going to? Is it Lake Wyola or Lake Atitchuit, Anota Lake? Oh, I love Lake Winnipesaukee. You should check it out. They've got some great hiking trails up there. It's so much fun. Are you going for the whole weekend?
No.
Oh, that's cool. We'll even, get away for the afternoon. Oh, I wish we could go with you. Well, anyway, have fun at the lake. Zoom high five. Hey.
I said I'm going to a wake.
Hey, apologies on the delay. I've been hopping around the house trying to find a nice quiet spot. My wife is occupying the home office today. We alternate days. Today's her day in the office, so it's my day to find an alternate spot. Today, it's the kitchen. Welcome. Yeah, the shirt. I like to stick with my usual routine as much as possible to keep things as sane as they can be during these crazy times. So I get dressed up like I'm going into the office. I feel like it really gets me started and kicks me right into work mode. We're really in a good spot, thankfully. And if there are no more questions, I'd like to give everybody 2 minutes back in your day. And if I don't talk to you, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. TGIF, am I right? Yeah. Great. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Look at this soul, still searching for salvation. I don't know the rush. I know I love you.
All right, I got my snapback, my button-down shirt over a long sleeve.
All right, I've got my walking staff. I've got my period-appropriate prophesizer's hat. Got my cloak in case it's cold out on the high road. Oh, hey, Alana.
Hey, Arthur, we were supposed to dress like the 90s, right?
I think I see what happened. You thought we meant the 1990s.
Yeah, and you thought I meant the 1590s?
That's right. Well, it's time travel week
on Mind Over Manor.
Hello and welcome to Mind Over Manor. I'm Arthur, your co-host.
And I'm Alana, your other co-host.
This week, we're exploring history. We're going back in time to things both personal and prehistoric, and we're going to have a great time doing it, aren't we?
Yeah, I feel like the 90s are really in right now. I dressed for the appropriate occasion, but our contestants are going to be looking back decades, centuries. We're going all the way back.
Everywhere from a couple of years ago to who knows when. Now, of course, this is Mind Over Manor, a comedy reality game show where funny people do bizarre things in order to win money towards a charity of their choice. Every week, they get a little bit closer to that $250 prize. And of course, this key to the Mind Over Manor.
Don't worry, we keep it in a very safe place, slightly far away from Arthur.
It's true. Now, this week, we'd like to spotlight one of the charities that one of our contestants will be playing for. Matt, let's bring up that clip and show the people out there why they should be supporting Colleen this week.
I am planning to play for a charity called One Can Help. So One Can Help is a Massachusetts-based organization. It in theory, and like in name, what it supports is court-involved youth. But really what it's focused on is supporting children and families who have involvement with the foster care system. A lot of people I think know about children in foster care and want to make sure those kids have a good experience. And probably a lot of people know about foster families. But something that people know a little bit less about is the reunification process. So most kids that go into foster care ultimately go back home. And so it's great if that's the case for the stay in foster care to be as short as possible and also to be as nice as possible. And so One Can Help is essentially a funding bank. And what it is funds available to social workers and attorneys who can identify really specific problems that could be solved with small amounts of money. So if a parent needs to be visiting with their child, but money is tight and they can't make train fare, we can keep reunification going on track by that attorney can submit to get some money for that parent to have train fare. And the way it works is the attorneys, no money really changes hands. The attorneys get exactly what is needed. They purchase it or an exact gift card for it so that the money is going exactly to what is needed. And then social workers or attorneys are reimbursed from the nonprofit. So this charity has funded nice sneakers for a kid who isn't going back home and is going to spend a lot of time in foster care, but deserves something nice. A teenager I represented who needed to take the GRE but didn't have transportation. They funded a laptop so that she could continue her education and be at the location that was right for her, even though GRE classes weren't nearby. And also has funded oftentimes transportation fare to assist parents who are often working and managing really small budgets, but also trying to reunify with their kids to help make sure the reunification process doesn't halt or stop just because of unexpected expenses or disruption in what is often a couple part-time work schedules, folks taking off to come to court, taking off to meet with services. So we can sort of fill these really small gaps to keep things moving. We, meaning they.
I thought that was beautiful. I'm so sorry our audience hasn't said a word since someone said I was rocking the grunge look. But One Can Help is a really cool organization, and we're so happy Colleen chose them.
Absolutely. Now, Mind Over Manor wouldn't be anything without contestants like Colleen who have great ideas and great causes that they want to support. And of course, we need those contestants to be doing something. So today, we've put together sort of a challenge, a live challenge, the same way we start out every Mind Over Manor episode. We're having them do something live and in person in front of you, something that we have not seen, something that we are barely prepared for. Alana, what do we have them doing this week?
Well, Colleen, of course, is not our only contestant. She will be joined by our other three contestants, BJ, Gwen, and Jess. And each one is going to not only show us an embarrassing picture from their childhood, but recreate it today for us.
Absolutely. And of course, in order to judge those childhood moment recreations, we've got our intrepid head judge, Emily Goldstein. Emily, why don't you come on and join us? Tell us a little bit about what you're looking for today. How's it going?
It's going great. How's it going with you guys?
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know why the compliments stopped in the chat, but I need them to keep coming.
I mean, both of you look amazing right now. So,
Well, Emily, right back at you. What are you going to be looking for in these embarrassing childhood photos?
well, I am going to be looking for the execution, the style, how closely they match their photos. Maybe some flair, maybe some weird, all of the above.
Sounds good to me. Do you have a special expert helping you this week?
Oh, I just might, and they might be waiting backstage right this minute. This particular guest was a high school English teacher and spent more time in high school than the average adult. They are judgmental of teens and adults. Okay, everyone, I would like to bring out Apollonia.
Yes, hello.
Hey.
Excited to be here and feeling very judgmental.
Fantastic.
Good. Apollonia, as someone who has seen a lot of embarrassing high schoolers, how are you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling good. A little awkward to be going back and hanging out with teens or what feels like teens, but it's part of the gig. I can get down.
Sure, just a professional, of course.
Well, fair enough. I think that's the cue for Alana and me to get on out of here and bring in our first contestant.
BJ.
Oh, hey there.
Oh.
Just rocking the look. I'm about to ditch this class, this stupid science class. You know what I mean? Because I'm a PIMP. I'm a pimp. I got this little cane over here. It's definitely a cane. It's not like a measuring stick or anything like that. Come on. You know what it is. Got my ring. You know.
Oh.
They love it over here. That's why I'm making the bench on varsity basketball. Yeah.
Okay, Apollonia, I am very curious to hear your thoughts about this.
I think this is something I would wear today. This doesn't scream like super awkward to me, but I love the attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
Love the ring. Didn't even see that.
Yep.
Love the avant-garde take on the measuring stick.
Same
Look at
shoes.
these sticks. Are they the exact same shoes?
The exact same shoes.
Oh,
Wow.
that's really good.
Okay.
Style goes on forever.
Yeah, timeless. Truly.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to give out some points here, and hearing what Apollonia has to say about your look, I would say you pulled it off. So I'm giving you 5 points. 5 points out of 5.
Okay, that's where we go.
So everyone, sorry, just to explain, the ranking is out of 5 points, 5 being the most and the best, 1 being the least and the worst. All right, let's bring up the next contestant. Jess.
Oh, hey.
Hey, let's see Jess's slide.
Hey, Jess. I'm just here in the dressing room at Deb, trying on some clothes with my friends. It's a Friday night. It's 2006. I'm trying on some clothes in the Deb dressing room with my hair flat ironed beyond all reason and tiny black circles around my eyes because that's how we do eyeliner in 2006.
So accurate.
Just, Friday night in 2006. Here we are.
Yep.
Been there.
Yes, definitely been there.
Deb for life, everybody. Deb will never close. Deb will be here forever.
So, again, Apollonia, I would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Ooh, I agree. Very MTV worthy.
Yes.
I just have a question, Jess. How sultry did you feel in this picture, and how sultry do you feel now?
Ooh. In this picture, I felt like 12 out of 10 on the sultry scale.
It shows. Yeah.
12 out of 10. Right in this moment, in my parents' basement wearing an apron. 15 out of 10.
Wow, what creativity. I have been there. I have worn this skirt. I have taken this pose, and you have brought it back to life in 2020. I love it.
Yes.
Thank you.
I would have to agree. I do think that you brought it back to life in 2020. And I think it's really clever that you used an apron to pull it off.
Yes.
I think
Weirdly, I don't own many skirts like that anymore.
That's so strange. They're very in.
I'm just not. I'm not as cool as I was in 2006.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm not, well, actually I was never cool. But anyways, I'm gonna give you 5 points, Jess.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go back to shopping at Deb now.
Enjoy.
All right, let's bring up the next contestant.
Oh, hello. Welcome. The year 1999. Look, we vogue, we model, we come off of our brief snack of a blue marker and something random that was brown, and we lounge.
Incredible.
Life is leisure.
I mean, I don't know, Apollonia, it seems like this is pretty spot on.
I think this is just such an avant-garde, an interactive take on this. One question, is that underwear on your head there? And is that underwear on your head now?
The underwear is on my head in the photo, and the underwear is on my head now. I've noticed that my head to thigh ratio has certainly shifted, but other than that, we are all original, baby.
Wonderful. My one critique is, were you in high school in this picture?
I was not in high school. In high school, I found that I was the photographer, so there are not many pictures of me. But when I was 8, oh baby, was I a model.
It shows. Boy, does it show.
All right, so taking your question, Apollonia, into consideration and thinking about this picture and the lack of high school photos, I will allow it under the umbrella of creativity, and I'd say you pulled this the heck off. 5 points, Gwen.
Oh,
great touch.
Thank you. And last but not least, let's bring Colleen on. Colleen. Oh.
Wow.
I can't see you guys right now.
I can't tell which is which. This is so spot on.
Adorable.
Uncanny. 100%.
I mean, I don't know about you, Apollonia. I feel like, again, spot on.
Truly. Did you draw this?
That's a drawing.
Not a printout.
Not a printout.
That's commitment.
Yeah. I should be forthright that I also am not in high school here.
You could have fooled me. You could be a young freshman.
Yeah. A teensy tiny freshman. I'm, I think, a 5th or 6th grader. I did pick out every part of this outfit, and I did get permission to upgrade to the purple backdrop because the pink and purple situation, you can't tell the scrunchie, if you get really close, is also pink and purple.
Oh.
A lot of my high school photos are not digital. I'm from that era. So I had to have my mom take pictures of things for me to send me. And when she sent this one, she sent along a note that was like, don't know what happened with your bangs there.
100% can relate. I too had the bangs, courtesy of my mom. She did not cut them, but she did make sure I had them. And I too wore long sleeve shirts and t-shirts under dresses. So kindred spirit right there. I'd say you got it spot on. And again, and I'm also giving you 5 points. And so wraps up our live mission.
So we are in a dead heat coming out of that live mission. So that means that we're going to have to keep an eye out for the things that distinguish the rest of the episode. Apollonia, thank you so much for joining us today. You've done a fantastic job helping to consider what these great contestants have done. And with that, we'll look forward to seeing you later. But for now, get on out of here. And Emily, likewise, we'll catch you for the recorded mission.
I just want to point out a couple of things on the chat that happened during that judging session. First off, the number of you that were so deeply curious about the underwear situation and truly celebrated when Apollonia asked about Gwen's hairpiece is interesting.
It's
also,
a look.
how many of you know about Colleen's bangs? Uncanny. Cut her own bangs. Those are fake bangs. Love the bangs. How do you guys know so much about her bangs?
It's a question that I couldn't even answer because I did not know that. The audience, better informed than I am.
Keep them coming. We love the comments, even though I will keep making fun of you from this side of the screen.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of making fun of things, it's time for us to get into the next phase of our show, and that's the Skill Challenge. New in Season 2, the Skill Challenge is a challenge that we gave to our contestants on a Zoom call, and they had to finish it before hanging up that Zoom call.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
I want to talk about last week. It's time travel week.
Oh, you better believe we got to talk about last week.
So last week, we asked our contestants to make the biggest mess. And we truly meant biggest in area?
But
Something
area
like
does not tell us how good that mess is. So we had that go out to all of you in the audience with a Twitter poll. And that Twitter poll has come back, my friends. And it is our pleasure to announce the winner. Ilana?
Yes. This seems to be Colleen's week because she is the winner of last week's bonus point.
So she gets that 1 bonus point for the skill challenge, and that puts her at 13 points. Coming into today, we'll see how those scores shift by the end of the episode. But for now, it's time to roll into this week's skill challenge, where once again, there is going to be an audience question. But first, you need to know what the challenge is. Ilana?
Well, Arthur, for centuries, humans have been trying to build the biggest and the greatest architectural wonders. Would you agree?
Absolutely. From the Tower of Babel to the Burj Khalifa and every skyscraper in between, humanity has sought the heavens, trying to build things up however they can.
So this week's skill mission, we asked all of our contestants to build the tallest tower. Keep in mind, we only gave them a couple minutes. This was totally sprung on them. They didn't have any time to prepare. So we got a lot of fun footage for you.
Absolutely. We put that footage together so you can get a sense of how they approached this daunting challenge. Let's take a look.
Okay. I've got some bands. Okay. Got a rocking chair. Okay.
I should be also recording here. Big box. Box.
Hell yeah. Yes, please.
I got this one in the bag. Because here we go. That's what I have so far. And then we're going to put this push broom on top of it. Beat that, nerds.
How much room do we have? Like a foot or less. Okay. Foot or less. Fuck. What's a foot? What do I own that is a foot? Nothing in here. Ah!
Hey! It's getting bigger, y'all. It's getting bigger. Oh, wow. Okay.
we've got it for the grill, and then we've got the bar stool on top of it. Takes the push broom, and then we've got the empty paint can filled with ice on the other side for like a balancing, so it doesn't topple over.
Well, I used to be very impressed with myself that it is 110 inches or 9'2", but now looking at some of yours, I'm sad.
All right, how about you, Jess?
Wait, mine's shorter than yours, Gwen. Mine's only 105 inches. I
Jess,
thought I
you're
had this in the bag. Look at it.
It is very tall.
Freeze for scale.
All right, how about you, Colleen?
Mine was 115 inches.
All right. Colleen's in the lead, I believe.
You got some tall ceilings.
This isn't my house, so let's really hope it doesn't take that fan down.
DJ, it's all up to you. How tall's your tower?
129 inches.
You have vaulted ceilings?
Yes,
oh,
he does.
Look at that beautiful vaulted ceiling.
Look at that beautiful tower. Incredible. Well, that's a skill challenge. They had no time and all of the stuff in their house, and I think they all put together some pretty fantastic towers. Don't you, Alana?
Yeah, I loved watching this in real time. I mean, you think in the chat that the height of ceilings or lack thereof is exciting. It was wild in real
Absolutely.
real
The
time.
ingenuity on hand, truly spectacular. Now, of course, height is quantifiable, but quality is not. So once again, we're going to be putting it to you out there in the audience. Hop on that Twitter, check out the Twitter poll. This week's question will be, who had the best tower? Most aesthetically pleasing, most lovely to look at, most impressive to have constructed. So,
yeah, we want to keep hearing from you. If you still love Colleen, give her the points. If you're ready for someone else, spread the wealth.
absolutely. So that's our skill challenge, our quantifiable look at what our contestants can do right now. I think it's time for us to get into our recorded challenge.
Yeah, so I like to think that our recorded mission is everyone's favorite. Each contestant had quite a while to put everything together. This week, we asked them to make a wonderful, beautiful, very interesting museum exhibit featuring them. So that could be anything from mainstream history, if you will, or their own personal history.
Absolutely. So we had our contestants create beautiful handcrafted odes to something that they cared about from the past, and they documented that process. So why don't we jump in to our first video, which I believe will be Jess's. Check it out.
Okay, so we just got our assignment, and we have to make a museum quality historical exhibit featuring ourselves in just a few hours. So historical exhibit, you know, we want to draw the people in, want to bring them in. History is super big in pop culture right now. We see a lot of it on the Broadway. Specifically, here's what I'm thinking. I think that this museum exhibit can serve two purposes. I think purpose number one can be to educate and engage people about history. Purpose number two could be to convince the casting team at Six the Musical that I would be a great fit in their cast once Broadway comes back. All right, so I've only got about 2.5 hours left, and I've only worked on Catherine of Aragon so far. So I think it's time that we start making Catherine of Aragon happen. All right, we're working with Anne Boleyn now. Why did she lose her head? Well, her sleeves may be green, but her lipstick's red. Okay, so in the show, and in history, Jane is the more like reserved, you know, she's the not matronly, the motherly one. Okay, so we have our red sparkles on for Anna of Cleves, our red sparkles for Anna of Cleves, yeah? So anyway, one of my favorite Anna of Cleves stories is she's apparently known for lacking a certain refinement. And there was a story about her attending a party at Henry's court, and she had a little bit too much fun, and she spilled mead on the edge of her dress. Or all over her dress, I think it was, but she spilled mead on herself. I don't have mead, but I will find something. But what I do have is my parents' wedding crystal. So I'm gonna borrow some of it to recreate this look for our Anna of Cleves. Sipping on mead and a fillet on my dress with a gold-based trim. We're done with Anna, whoever. All right. So our next move is Kay Howard. And because we don't know for sure what she looks like, I think we can get a little bit more creative with this one. And I think it might be time to bring out the wigs. Whew. Find out, it's the final wife. I am nearly out of time. Okay, so we've done Kay Howard, and now I have like 15-20 minutes to do Catherine Parr before time is up. Crunch time, here we go. All right, she is blue, double D, double die. Final, oh, where's my crown? Where's my crown? Shoot, where's my crown? Oh no. We gotta find that. And then it's time for our final queen. Here we go.
An exciting sweep through 6 legendary historical figures. Beautifully rendered.
Yeah. And beautifully narrated, like C. Kling said in the comments. People are loving Jess's voice.
Absolutely. Really great kinetic look at what it takes to put together that kind of historical exhibit. Let's change up the pace a little bit and pop into our next contestant, shall we?
Yeah, let's take a look at Colleen's video.
So what I've figured out is that I'm probably going to be doing an exhibit involving a very particular stage of like 2000, the year 2000, like 11-year-old boy edition. And I'll be honest, I'm working with baseball cards, Crossfire, video game consoles. I mean, there are just so many army men. Okay, something I'm struggling with is where to put the exhibit, because the beds are now significantly girlier than they probably were originally. There's like a corner with some furniture in it I could move. It's just because it's my in-laws' house. I'm gonna have to put back whatever I move. But I feel like a cleanish background is gonna be best, because then you can really focus on the special stuff I found.
There's 2 bins here labeled big guys. So I'm wondering, what is in the big guys bin. I had to take down Beanie Babies and then 64 games, like the worst N64 games, to get to them. So it's army guys. A lot of them, like a weird amount. And then I'm also realizing there are just tons and tons of baseball cards, just so many baseball cards. And what's in the other big guys bin? More fucking army guys. Good news for me, located a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sleeping bag. I think that's going to be really helpful for scenery. And then I also, for costuming, I found this novelty t-shirt. I'm going to say it's a Budweiser shirt. It's some sort of inside Pat's shirt, but I think this is going to be good enough. This is a real lucky break for me. We've got this tableau. I'm really proud of finding the Cartman. Obviously the Surge is huge. Found these things. I feel like a football playing Chuck E. Cheese is sort of really extremely on point, as is the random high top sneaker.
So I'm in my costume, got my shirt on, and I put my own t-shirt underneath it because I thought that was pretty true to period.
What I love most about Colleen's video is how young it makes me feel, because I didn't understand a single one of her references.
I'll say I'm in a very similar camp. I'm just a kid. But one thing I was surprised by in that video was the spurning of the Phantom Menace pod racing game for N64. Something that I am pleased the chat has reacted to the same way I did.
Waiting to ask you what pod racing is. Why is everyone going wild for pod racing?
Alana, that is a conversation that we will not have time to have on this show.
Oh my
But it's with good reason that everyone's excited about that detail. Hopefully, spurning that game doesn't come back to bite Colleen in the judging. But for now, it's time for us to move things right along and check out Gwen's take on the museum quality historical exhibit.
Let's
Take
see.
a look.
Museums are about famous people. Oh, what am I gonna do? Okay. I know who I want to do. Okay. Who am I?
I'm really not sure.
Dan, come on.
I don't know, just tell me.
I'm Harry Houdini.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
Don't
you look very Harry Houdini like.
Okay. Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel you. One of these.
Why do you have a box of mustaches?
Don't ask questions.
Okay. I mean,
Oh, no,
if
it's
Houdini
coming up.
has a oh no. Oh
I
my
got
god.
it.
Oh
I got
no.
it.
Oh no.
Better? Oh god, it's in my mouth.
No. Yeah, it's not.
So Harry Houdini, is famous for his escapist tricks. He's called the master escapist. Fuck. I almost choked and died on this mustache. This mustache is the devil. It sheds in your mouth. But, that's the price you pay for authenticity. And Harry Houdini wouldn't have complained if he choked on his mustache. I mean, the man faced death all the time.
I really don't know that he has a mustache.
He has a mustache. All right, well, we're gonna settle this. Don't help me. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, shit. I don't know how to do capital letters.
Caps lock.
Where the fuck is the thing? There it is.
Did you find the picture?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Not videos, images.
I understand. Did you find the picture?
Yes, I found the picture.
Mustache or no? Oh, yeah.
Shut up. Shut up.
Mm-hmm. Any last words?
He's got a mustache now, baby. When we looked up Houdini online, we found that his most famous trick was being hung upside down, tied up in a glass case of water. And that's going to be a little difficult to pull off, but we thought that we should really represent his most famous work. Okay.
Yeah, and then the feet.
And the feet. Yeah. Okay. Grab a rock climbing hold. I don't know what muscles this is working, but I'm sure that I'm gonna know tomorrow. No.
How's that?
This is pretty upside down.
That's pretty upside down. Any last words for the camera?
Ta-da!
I briefly just want to acknowledge that Gwen isn't just a very talented Houdini, or maybe I should leave that for the judges, but she's also a teacher on 3 Week Stock Courses.
It's true. And it just so happens that 3 Week Stock Courses is a beloved partner of 2MB Studios, the Twitch channel, YouTube channel, or Facebook page you're watching this on right now.
Yeah, they have more classes enrolling in December. So if you're interested in learning from people like Gwen, definitely check them out.
Absolutely. Jump on that and make sure that when you do, you tell them we sent you. Now, back to those missions. We've seen 3 historical figures / historical time periods. Let's get into something a little bit more personal. BJ,
I would love that.
Yes, BJ has brought something that's directly related to his own history, his own past, and I'm really excited to show you all what he put together for us. Let's roll that tape.
I'm
Bono.
15. Let's get some better lighting in here. I'm Bono. I'm 15.
This is Bono. So I have to create a museum exhibit that's a museum of me.
Right.
Now, this is your house. I don't have a lot of my own materials here.
All right.
Do you have any ideas?
We have this display trophy. Now, in this display trophy, we have this thing over here. Basketball. We have some memorabilia.
That's yours.
Yeah, I know. We have some memorabilia. We have some VHS tapes.
But how is it me? How do I create something that's an exhibit of me?
Of you?
Yeah.
You play basketball? There's a basketball trophy?
I do play basketball. I'll take the trophy. I'll take the trophy.
When did you put on your James Brown
Somebody.
outfit? The first Halloween costume you wore in this house.
The James Brown outfit. You know what? You know what I'm thinking?
What?
We have a vacuum cleaner, right? This vacuum cleaner is like, it's maybe 4 feet tall, and Bernadine has a lot of wigs because she's a black woman, and we've got some like basketball stuff. Why don't I create like a little version of me? I got a hat. I'm gonna put a little hat on this dude. I got the Kyrie's. Gotta bless. Come on, bless it. Bless it with some fresh kicks down there. Got this tennis racket. Doesn't fit here. Oh, that would been clutch. Then I put it in there like that. I got this PS4 controller. You know, sometimes you just put it on your neck. You know what I mean? PlayStation on the neck. Actually, and I got this. I don't know if anyone has seen
Show
this.
them the Migos.
The 3 Migos.
Wait, let's see.
Over here. Mama, look at that. Look at that. Offset, Quavo Honcho, and then take off. Come on. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Hey, walk it like I talk it. Put that right in there so you can pray to it. Come on. Pray. I gotta figure out a place. I have to move this thing. I gotta put it over here because this light fixture. figure that out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. Stay tuned. I also got a flag from, not a flag, a scarf from when I got to see Arsenal versus Tottenham. Come on, you Spurs! When I was in London in 2019, I can use that. My brother-in-law is going and he has to be swagged out, so he took the Allen Iverson jersey. Now I just got this Cleveland Cavaliers jersey with LeBron James. Honestly, I like Allen Iverson more than LeBron, but LeBron just won a chip, so it's better for the brand. It's more clout, you know. It's more clout. So, but the one thing I couldn't find my Zimbabwean flag and my South African flag. It's really sad for me because I'm a certified Shona boy. I'm a certified Zulu boy. I got this warrior spirit in me. But I don't got the flags right now. They're somewhere. Can't find them. It's okay. At least you've heard it on the show, so at least you know about it. But I got this warrior spirit in me. Come on. Okay, so I got the final product. You guys ready? Okay, here we go. Woo! It's a little bit more of a shrine, but I like it. I like it.
You know how I know that everyone involved, including everyone in the audience, is like an artsy comedian?
I'd love to hear how you
Sooner
know.
or later, also known as Carolyn, our season 1
Friend of the
contestant,
show.
is the only one who said anything during that video, and it was sports related.
It's true. Our audience maybe doesn't connect with the sports elements of it as deeply, but that's okay. We saw a great personal look at what a museum quality historical exhibit featuring yourself can look like.
Yes.
In fact,
I have a question for you, Arthur.
fire away, Alana.
If you don't mind getting a little bit more personal, if you were going to make a museum quality exhibit of yourself, we're talking personal, Arthur Berman, what would be included?
Let's see. If it's about me personally, it's probably something related to coding and programming and really being at a computer. So I'm thinking dark room, mannequin of myself that I'm playing, and then just a laptop screen illuminating my face from beneath. I think that captures who I am really effectively from a historical perspective.
This was a real opportunity for you to seem cool, and you failed.
I have gone completely the other direction. I'm happy about that. Ilana, how about you? See if you can do any better.
Well, I know people in the audience from time to time like to talk about my bookshelf, but I'm, of course, in my childhood bedroom, in line with my outfit. Go 90s, kids. And I think a lot of things back there represent me. I've got like some comedy books here. I got some like ceramics that I painted. I have my Chicago Globe. So it's coming together.
Fair enough. But I think it's safe to say neither of us could live up to what our contestants brought out tonight. And to prove it, let's bring our head judge back. Emily, get on in here. Hello and welcome.
Hello.
Hello. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling good, and I am so ready to discuss all of these awesome videos and exhibits.
Great. Well, you won't be discussing that with us, of course. You've got someone special lined up for it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
All right, everyone. I have someone super special waiting backstage who happens to be a member of the IB community. Let me tell you a little bit more about him. He is an improviser and financial coach. You can catch him on That Sounds Right, Monday nights at 7 p.m. right here on Toonby Studios. And he also happens to be a teacher for 3 weeks courses. If you could please bring out Tim.
Welcome to
Hello,
the show, Tim.
everybody. Good evening. Thank you for having me. So glad to be here with you all.
Oh, so polite. We're so happy to have you, Tim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything that you'll be looking for and really bringing up with your historical knowledge as compared to what our contestants have done?
I'm just excited to be able to talk about all the great work that everyone's done today. Went to a lot of museums and historical exhibits in my lifetime, and just to see these 4 exhibits brought to life here in front of our eyes has just been so humbling and stunning that I'm just really excited to get to talking about them.
Well, we're excited to hear what you have to say. Me and Arthur are going to leave, but good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello.
Jess. So do I start? Is that just how this is going to work?
Go for it. Yeah, you can.
All right, so great. I made some notes. Jess, I enjoyed you taking us through your thought process of how you were going to put together your exhibit. I enjoyed learning about how you were thinking about everything. I loved how you were considering not only using it to teach us about history, but also to convince yourself or to convince others to put you on the musical for 6 as well. So I like the dual purpose there that you brought to that. I also like seeing how you chose different outfits and just the different accoutrement for each different character, and also how you brought out their personalities as well. So I really enjoyed how you put all that together.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I too also really enjoyed how you put everything together. I love the surprise of seeing you recreate these different historical figures, and especially in a fun lens through the musical. Oh, this is tough. Okay.
I don't know if you can see, but they kind of blend in with the wall, but I do have fact sheets behind each of these queens too. I don't know if they kind of blend in with the wall, but if you need to study further, there are facts behind me in each of these.
Well, that's so cool. Yeah, I can make it out.
Yeah, that's one thing that I look for when it comes to museums, is just a little bit of more information about the individuals. And while I got some of that in the personalities, most of it didn't come through in their individual stories.
That is a very good point. All right, so I think I'm ready to give a score. And
Me as well.
again, the ranking is out of 5, so it's 1 to 5, 5 being the highest amount of points, 1 being the lowest. And I would say I thought this was excellent, and I am going to give you a 4.
Okay, all right.
I also thought it was excellent, and I'll also give you a 4. There
All
we
right.
go. It's a little late. My fingers aren't cooperating.
Thank you, Jess. All right, let's bring out the next contestant. Hey, Colleen.
Hi, guys.
I've got to say, going with the 11-year-old boy from 2000 really spoke to me personally. So I enjoyed seeing your entire exhibit, just the way you put everything together. I like that you went through the detail of the exhibit and you thought about the spacing, how you moving the beds aside and what the backdrop of it would look like, as well as including yourself in the exhibit with the shirts and the outfits as well. And the great soundtrack. The backing soundtrack was great.
I have to be honest, that was helpfully put in by someone else in editing. But I do want to draw your attention to the snack I'm eating. So the Surge by the Boombox I found, obviously very period appropriate. But I also added a snack. That's a Go-Gurt I'm eating, a pretend Go-Gurt. And then I see there's a crossfire in front, and must be really specific to a certain period of time, but the Crossfire theme song is something that I think like haunts some people's dreams, like myself. So definitely just want people to know I was singing the Crossfire theme song for a very long time after this.
Colleen, I thought this was great. I mean, you have a lot of detail in here. I think it's historically accurate for the time period, knowing from personal experience growing up then. I love the Godzilla, the Cartman, baseball cards, the freaking Beanie Babies, the Mutant Ninja Turtle sleeping bag. Based on the fact that you had the costume, the backdrop, the figurines, this to me read the most like a museum exhibit. And I feel like you put in a ton of effort into it. As such, I'm giving you 5 points.
5 points for me as well.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And next contestant.
Hello.
Hi, Gwen.
Yes. Oh, well, you have to see. These are the tricks. These are the tricks of Harry Houdini. Here we have him at rest, and we have him in his most famous trick, modified to be a shower. And I did, in fact, turn on that shower.
So you waterboarded yourself at the same time.
I did very much so.
That is commitment to your craft, I have to say. I have to give you that. I really appreciated the detail that you put into it as well, down to the mustache, which was hotly debated throughout the rest of your piece. I don't know how I feel about you having to struggle while your body was bound to open the chest, and the person filming it not helping you out.
I refused help. It was offered several times, and I thought, what would Harry Houdini do? And Harry Houdini would do it himself.
Yes. So that speaks to my appreciation of your level of commitment, down to even open up the laptop. I felt like the entire piece was a piece of struggle through the chains and the bondage. And it was something that Harry Houdini himself would probably be proud of. So I'm definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ooh, this, first of all, watching you made me so nervous, and I was so afraid for you the whole time. And also equally fascinated by your box of mustaches, which props to you for having that. I think, your costume is great. It looks pretty historically accurate to what you showed based on the photos. Again, your photos look pretty accurate and freaky. I could definitely see this in a museum, like a wax museum. And I'm going to give you $5 points.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a solid 5 for me too, Harry Houdini.
Oh, thank you. I'll go back to sucking on my markers now.
Oh, no, please don't. And last but not least, please bring out BJ.
Hey, y'all.
BJ.
Hey, BJ.
Yeah. So people decided to go in different routes, incorporating themselves, putting themselves as historical figures. I said, no, I'm going to create a shrine. Because yourself, you're just a man. But if you go in further, you become a legend. You become a myth. You become a shrine.
That's very true. And also there are so many legends, jerseys throughout the entire piece as well. So I think you're also immortalizing yourself with the rest of these legends.
Of course. I deserve to be in Springfield as well.
Of course, definitely. The NBA Hall of Fame. So for me, the entire video that you shared with us was just an understanding of your identity and like where you fit in within the space that you were given for your video. So finding pieces of yourself represented throughout the house, whether it be the videos, the trophy, the wig that you got from the person who lived there, having to change jerseys throughout, and then the vacuum just to represent yourself. Really was a journey of identity and understanding of who you were. And I felt like through that, I got to understand more of your personal history as well.
Yeah, I was pretty much built like a vacuum as well. I was 4 feet for a while.
So the one question I did have was around the Kyries. Is that historically accurate or inaccurate?
Ooh, here's the thing. We're always trying to look for the new. We're always trying to look for the best. Right now, Kyrie was popping, so I had to get a little bit of that. Beforehand, I was wearing some of those questions, those AI Reebok questions. Y'all know about those. But right now, the Kyries are what the kids are wearing, so that's what I had to put some drip on that.
Had to put some drip on that. Okay.
Okay, BJ, I really enjoyed hearing your thought process behind all of this. I enjoyed learning more about you. I think, you definitely did do a lot based on where you physically are and what you had access to. I enjoyed when you set everything up with the lights behind it. That was really cool. I would say I'm going to award you 4 points.
Yeah, it's going to be 4 points for me as well, BJ. Great job.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, judges. We'll let you go and bring us to the end of another episode of Mind Over Manor.
Yeah, so when we consider, the live mission, the skill mission, the recorded mission, how are things going, Arthur?
Oh boy. Well, let me tell you, the final scores today have us in a dead heat. That's right. Today's scores, Jess in last place with 10, a strong effort, but not quite enough to overtake Gwen with 12 points, and a two-way tie between Colleen and BJ with 13 points, summed up over the course of the episode and taking into account the tilt that Tim brought. So that means that this week's audience bonus question might end up shifting the balance entirely.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Make sure, again, to head over to the @2MB Studios Twitter. Vote for who you think had the most architectural, the prettiest, really the best tower, so we can make sure we even some things out.
Absolutely. And of course, I'd like to report the final scores for the series overall so far. We have Gwen with 26 points. We have Jess with 20 points. We have BJ with 24 points. And we have Colleen also with 26 points. So dead heat as well, but between two different people. So we will see how that progresses over the course of the series, but we will not see that next week because next week we're taking the week off for the holiday.
I am so glad you said that, Arthur. I was ready to show up next week.
Absolutely. So come back 2 weeks from today and also stick around because right after this, we're going to The Joy of Posting, a fantastic show where you are guaranteed to laugh. That's a promise from me.
All right. Gosh, I'm ready to go. Everyone have fun.
Absolutely. That's been Mind Over Manor. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Joy of Posting, the show that I'm hosting right now. I forgot to share my screen, which is why I did it while I was introducing the show. I'm a great host, especially of virtual content. If you've never seen this show before, the premise is really simple. I'm going to write some jokes. These are not any jokes. They're not for any format. They are specifically for the Twitter platform. This is where I have made my bones as a comedy writer. Hello, other Dave Thomas. And hopefully I'm able to retain what a wonderful large audience the Mind Over Manor was able to bring to my show. Hopefully I'll be able to keep some of you because that's all I need. If you'd all like to stay, that's wonderful. And if some of you have to go and some of you can stay, that's also wonderful too. If you all leave, then this will no longer be a show per se. It'll be me speaking into a square several inches from my face. Not quite a show, but not quite nothing either. Just a new thing. a little bit about me. If you've never seen the show or don't know who I am, you're like, why am I watching this crazy woman? Obviously, crazy. My name's Rachel. I am in Boston. I am 33 years old, and I am part of the Boston comedy scene, as they say. Matt will always be here. That's true. Matt is our tech and a producer. I am part of the Boston comedy scene. I've also been active on Twitter for about the last 10 to 12 years. 2008, I believe, is when Twitter began to sort of become a thing. I went onto that thing as it was becoming a thing, and I've been writing jokes on it ever since. At least several jokes a day, every day. Math is not my strong point, but I do love writing jokes, and so that's what I do there. Just gonna say hi to the chat. Hello, how are you, everybody? You may notice that sometimes I duck my head as if I am avoiding gunfire. That's not what I'm doing. Obviously, there is not an active shooter here. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the chat on my phone, and every week I'm like, I gotta get a second screen, but I haven't done that yet. But I'm actually every week I commit myself to getting a second screen. Every week I fail to do so, and then every week I do the show, and I'm like, I make the promise anew. And in that small anecdote, you get a really nice picture of me. If my previous description of myself did not suffice, I feel that demonstrates me to a T. Today we'll be writing some jokes for the internet. If you've never written a Twitter joke, it's a particular type of form. You know how the joy of painting is about jarring. He's not making a new type of painting every week. He's like, here are some fucking trees, and here's the mountains, and they have variations to them, but they're all basically the same category genre. So these are all going to be Twitter jokes. These are jokes for Twitter, and we build them. We can build them a couple different ways, but they're all going to be ultimately for that platform. And so we'll kind of begin to strike a particular form, which you will probably end up like recognizing and sensing is familiar. So the first thing we do, because this is a show where I have to demonstrate the form, is we open up a Word document. Often I do not use a Word document when I'm writing outside of the auspices of a theatrical performance, but here I'm able to sort of externalize a lot of what would ultimately be going on inside my head. I'm able to externalize it on the page, on the virtual page, if you will. And if I have a question in my own mind, I'm like, oh, I need a word, I can't remember the word, or I need a reference, I can't quite think of a good one. You'll also see kind of the Googling, which is, for me, a normal part of the joke writing process. So for the last few weeks, I've been trying to write to a particular theme. I'll be honest, I'm not usually this used to the chat being so quiet. Usually, you know what we'll do? We'll just say, we're going to go into my Twitter account real fast, and we're just going to say, hey guys, I'm streaming now. Come on over. Something that's not hostile or mean or like weirdly threatening, but just sort of gets the point across. Because really, I have 11,000 followers, and if no one wants to, it would strike me as a little strange if I have 11,000 people who enjoy my jokes, but nobody who wants to watch me write any of them. So, hello, Carolyn. Hello, Kat. The stream still has the Mind Over Manor title. Matt, our tech, our wonderful beloved tech, could you change that name so people know what they're watching? That would be wonderful. People, hopefully they'll know what it is, because I'm here and I for the most part, only do one fucking show. Although that's not entirely true, this Sunday I am doing a show, I believe at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, called The Ladies of Laughter, LOL, put together by the wonderful and tremendously talented Gwen Coburn. And you can find information about that on my Twitter. As soon as this is done, I'm going to retweet that information. Cool. So, so let's start writing jokes. If people get here if people get here or not, it's fine. You're all here to see one thing, assumedly, which is to watch my creative process. Cool. I also say that this is a wild time emotionally. If you are sort of keyed into the goings on of the greater comedy community in Boston, you'll also know that recently Improv Boston lost its space. It lost its space. Improv Boston as an entity, as an organization, is not dissolved, but they're also it's a precarious sort of existence, which is not it's not an elegant answer when people say, "Oh, what's going on with Improv Boston? Well, we're losing our space. Improv Boston is not going away, but also who knows?" And I resent inelegant answers, so I resent the situation primarily for that reason. Cool. Thank you, Kat, for helping be our watcher, be our extra pair of eyes. So I'm feeling in a one thing I noticed last time is I was trying to do some topical stuff and it was bumming people out. People are like, I don't want to think about the news. I don't want to think about that shit. And it's true that writing topical jokes, one of the problems is it makes you think about topics. Topical jokes do make you think of topics. And so I'm going to try another week of cheering you up jokes. Jokes that are silly, inherent in their nature, is an inherent silliness and a sort of unmooring from the present moment and present concerns. Any connection to these, to our current woes and current suffering is purely, and I swear to Christ, is going to be purely accidental. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to think of some silly shit. I'm coming in a little hot today. You may have noticed I'm a little hot. That's fine. I just, yeah, I was getting thinking about the IB stuff and just getting angry. I also had too much caffeine. I know you're thinking, is there such a thing? Apparently, today I found out there is. So let's get straight into the first thing I'm going to do is just put down some concepts that I think are inherently whimsical. The whimsies and the DNA of these concepts or in these premises. The whimsy is cannot be watered down or removed without these concepts or ideas losing their essential nature. First, I'm going to check the chat one more time because I like to do that while I'm procrastinating. And then we're going to think of some inherently whimsical ideas or concepts. For example, balloon animals are inherently whimsical. They're very silly. Everything regarding sort of the circus category, with the exception of the animals, which is of course a tragedy. The clown lifestyle with the water, the flower that sprays water, the clown car. The joke is that the clown car is public transportation, but only for one category of person. And that is basic. That's almost a joke. I'll be in. For one category. Person. And cars. Therefore, are currently doing more for the environment. For environment than Elon Musk. Those who fans of the show will know that I am quite a dissenter in any sort of pro Elon Musk propaganda, Elon Muskaganda. I'm not a fan of him. I think he's a bully and a coward and a dumb bag of rocks. So I'm not a fan of him. So we're going to clown cars, public transportation, albeit for one category of person. Clown cars, therefore, are currently doing more for the environment than Elon, than Tesla. Who's therefore the greatest clown, but a tragic one for lacking the right type of car. That one, you had sort of the, I like this one. And we're going to see how it plays. As I've said before on this, usually my hit rate on my jokes, the number of jokes I write, if I write 100 jokes, but 50 of them land, which I've been told is a pretty high hit rate, I'm pretty proud of it. That said, I can't always tell which will be the 50 that work and which will be the 50 that don't. I just kind of write. And I don't, and I'm not sentimental. I just kind of write, boom, 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 keep going. It's the only way to travel spiritually. A clown car is public transportation. Albeit for one category of person, clown cars are currently doing more for the environment than Elon Musk, who's there for the greatest clown, but a tragic one, but a sad one, for lacking the right type of car. There for the greatest clown, but a sad one for lacking the right type of car. And we're gonna just print it. Of course, I mean publish it, but of course, by that I mean post it. Though these words, print it, putting it on a virtual page is completely divorced from the obviously original meaning of the word printed. To say I printed a tweet is the height of absurdity. But yet somehow that is exactly what I did. I said that exact phrasing. Cool. Public transportation is very topical now too. How so? There's a lot of questions about public transportation. If you're in the Boston area, as I am, you know that we are considered to have a pretty good mass transit system, even as they are using, the situation around the plague as an excuse to cut more services when they should be obviously pumping money into it. Those fools, I hate them. Hey, Pfeiffer! Hello, old friend. Welcome to the joke room. It's like the panic room, but we're trying to not show how afraid we are. Joke rooms are like panic rooms. The big difference is you have to pretend you're too cool to be afraid. You have to pretend you're not scared. I'm gonna just print that. The more I say the more I say I'm printing these, the funnier I personally find it. Let's keep going. What's some other whimsical fucking stuff? Balloon animals, flowers that spray water. Flowers that spray water. That's the opposite of what you should do to water. To flowers. That's like clowns have flowers that spray water. The flowers that spray water. That is the opposite relationship than what God intended. Therefore, one must assume they're clowns. This is going to be real clown heavy tonight. Everyone. Thank you, David, and thank you, Pfeiffer, both for subscribing with Prime. If you're at home and you have Amazon Prime, you of course can support our channel by subscribing with Prime through Twitch Prime, which you can activate if you go on Amazon Gaming. And if you do subscribe with Prime, what that means is that you're not paying any more money, but you're making Bezos pay us, which is nice. Because the more money the channel has, the more opportunities it opens up in terms of what we can purchase to continue making the channel an even more satisfying experience for everybody watching. Carolyn says MTA in New York is going to lose a lot of federal money without federal bailout money. Sorry for the late response and to bum everyone out. Yes. This is what I've I'm trying to create a fun environment where we can have a couple laughs before we have to trudge back on to reality, which we all are keenly aware is depraved. What can I say? I'm not in charge. I'm the opposite of in charge. As the flowers that spray water are the opposite of how flowers and water should relate to each other. That is the opposite relationship than what God intended. Therefore, one must assume clowns are agents of Satan. Except, they're. I don't know how to end this, so I'm just going to move on. I'll find an end to that later. Ice Cream Cone, hello, how are you? How is everyone doing? I'm doing it, Rachel. Yeah, it was not necessarily an assumption you have to make. One thing that's fun in joke writing that I find is to make spurious conclusions. That is, for me, a charming way of creating humorous scenarios. For example, water is not coming out of the faucet, therefore it must be coming out of my nose. What a strange connection to make. But if you speak with authority that has just enough grit to it that you can enjoy it without becoming completely unmoored. Ultimately, the joke is on me. The joke is always on me. It's always on the joke teller for having such a strange relationship to reality. Cool. Let's do a few more. It's good. Let's get to the second beats. I just see everyone's doing out there in Twitch world. Again, if you want to support the channel, follow and subscribe. If you're like, this is fun to watch, but I'd like to take a course in what? Oh, I have so many hobbies and interests or things I'd like to become my hobbies and interests. Sorry, I can't speak. If you're interested in classes, we are partners with 3 weeks courses. 3 weeks courses. It's just literally 3 weeks courses. Take a class, tell them from the drop down menu that you heard about them from us. We can make them a little bit of money, and you get to take a great class with an experienced and charming instructor. So that's another thing you can do. Let's do some more jokes. Cracking my knuckles. Thinking of diving boards. Thinking of seagulls. I haven't seen a seagull in a long time. Seagulls. One time I had a hot dog stolen by a seagull. Another time I had 8 seagulls break into my casino. I guess just had 8 seagulls break into my casino. Knowing my luck, what else can they steal? Okay, well, if clowns are agents of Satan, would mimes be the agents of God? Maybe. Oh, mimes. I don't know if I've ever written a joke about a mime, which is silly, because mimes are silly. Therefore, you think they would be fodder. Let's see if we can finish this one. One time I had a hot dog stolen by a seagull. Another time I had 8 seagulls break into my casino. Lastly, I think the worst instance was, I think, the worst instance theft. However, seagull came and stole my heart. Still think of him, and I look at the waves out. When I gaze out at the waves. That's fun. That's a fun joke. I like it because it's very like a classically constructed joke in the sense that it has three parts, three like very like obvious clear parts. It tells a little story, and it ends on sort of this kind of strange romantic note, which I think hopefully, unless I've totally misjudged other people's visceral experiences, will surprise the reader at least a little bit. Cool. Well, let's keep going. So those were seagulls. Seagulls, of course, thieves. Mourning doves. There's a mourning dove that I'm just gonna name some birds because birds are silly. Mourning dove. There's a mourning dove that comes out to our kitchen. And he sits his butt inside the feeder, and none of the other birds can get to it. And it's if we had more of a sense of humor about the birds, we'd find it funny. But we are. Both my mother and I are surprisingly humorless about the birds. We just want all those birds to get fed. So the mourning dove is not a subject of whimsy. It's a subject of gentle but persistent resentment. Let's do some more. Mourning doves, hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are funny. Let's see if there's any jokes in a hummingbird. I'm just going to do some bird jokes. Why not? Hummingbirds flap their wings. Let's see how fast they flap their wings. Want to get this part right, or you're going to have some guys in your replies. Am I right, ladies? Hummingbirds, how fast do they flap their wings? This is one of the things you don't need to know. You're like, I know that they flap fast. I don't need to know the number. I don't need to have that number in my brain because the internet, 70 wing beats per second. You know, it's very Monty Python. They were on the right track when they made jokes about birds. The rest of the film, throw it away. I would have just like kept to the birds, focus on the birds, dig into that as the subject of a movie. You would say, but Rachel, what about the movie The Birds? And I'm like, no. They're funny. They're not scary, they're funny. You got it all wrong. You got it all wrong with the birds. Cool. Let's do this one. Hummingbirds flap their wings 70 wing beats per second. What else flaps? Flappers from the 1920s flapped their dress flaps. 30 dress beats. We're going to do another like 3 things are true joke. A bunch of UFO sightings in one area is called a flap. I had no idea. That's one of the things that's unfortunate that you can't use it in a joke because it's not common knowledge. You can't you would have to spend half the joke explaining the truth, and then people don't even believe you for the effort you've put in. But that's really cool to know. Thank you, Thinkertron. Hummingbirds flap their wings 70 wing beats per second. Flappers from the 1920s flap their dress flaps 30 dress beats per second. What else has flaps? I'm gonna look at some flaps. This is you can really I'm sure I'll dig myself out of it, but I feel like I'm at my nadir. Is that how you say it? Flaps. I'm out of my mind. So we're just gonna look at of course there's some gore. I'm sorry about the gore. Some weird gore in here. Flap surgery is apparently a mouth thing. Manta rays. Manta rays. Flaps. I didn't know this would be such a gruesome Google image search. I'm sorry. What the hell is this? A flap wheel. That's not common knowledge. Flap. we're gonna cheat. Universal Pictures. Release flops 20 film flops per year. Amazing. you just cheat. Film flops. It's all about sort of the fla sound. It's amazing how the universe moves both fast and slow, depending on your vantage. Universe. How flappy and floppy. Amazing. How do I end this joke? Pain. Pain is how I end this joke. Straight into a wall I've run into. If I can say it like Yoda. Hummingbirds flap their wings 70 wing beats per second. Flappers from 90 ways flap their dress flaps 90 30 dress beats per second. You know what? I'm just gonna move on. I give up. This is what was really what's wonderful about tweets is how you can just give up, and it doesn't even cost anything. I like giving up because you can't give up in other instances. You can't be halfway through a $40 million budget movie and be like, you know what? This doesn't work. This is not a good movie. Let's just like scrap this and start fucking over. That is the freedom which tweets allow you that you don't have in most spheres of life. Let's see if we can do one we like. I'm gonna just see if I can do one I like. Birds aren't working. Throw out the birds. Throw them out. I was wrong. They're not funny. They're tragic or action. They're not comedy. You know what's comedy? Really. Oceans. Oceans are funny. No, oceans are sad. You're like, you take your brain and you kind of like, it's almost like a feather duster. You're kind of dusting the surfaces for humor, but you just keep finding, like bits of grit that the feather duster can't move or interact with very well. And you're like, oh, this is a tragic piece of lint. I can't move it with my feather duster. I have to, find some lint I can move with the tools at hand, which are a stick with some feathers arranged at its brim. So we're going to try something else. We're going to go back to the drawing board. What are whimsical ideas? Okay, balloon animals. Back to balloon animals. Balloon animals, Jeff Koons. It's fun. It's a fun name. Is he a great artist? No, but really fun, good name. Balloon animals, whatever. Polka dots are fun. Polka dots are proof that if you're being targeted by enough snipers, what's it called? The sniper light. When you when you just like the red dot cast by what's the sniper by the rifles are large enough, it becomes more of a party atmosphere. That's silly. And you may think, like, polka dots, that's way too broad to build a whole joke around. Fuck that. You can write a joke about anything, as long as there's enough ideas that can follow each other subsequently. Polka dots are proof that if you're being targeted by enough snipers, and their dots cast by their rifles are large enough, it becomes more of a party atmosphere. That is a fun joke, I think. Laser sight. Yes, laser sight is the one I was thinking of. But Pfeiffer, I wish I had your ability to retrieve words and phrases. My brain is particularly not cooperating tonight. Let's do another one. Movies make me sad. Well, movies are like, everyone misses the theater. I miss the theater. The last movie many of my friends saw in the theater was Cats. It was like God was saying. This is a preview of how much you'll be thinking. Last movie many of my friends saw in the theater, it was Cats. It was like God was saying, you think this is silly, but in a year you will have written enough songs about your own cats, or have written that. Hey. Last movie many of my friends saw in the theater was Cats. It was like God was saying, you think this is silly now, but in a year you will write a musical about your cat. What I'm saying is, you're gonna have a lot of time with your cat. That's a joke. Flourish with a hand. We're doing a channel trailer. We're building one from clips from different shows, and I'm like, I don't do enough with my hands. Where will I derive my clips of my show from? I have to be more kinetic and visually interesting for the purposes of our channel trailer. We sucker people in thinking they're about to get a visually interesting experience. It's just one dumbass typing for an hour. Haha, it tricked you. The Invisible Man. I did not see The Invisible Man. I saw the last movie I saw in theaters was Emma, which ended up being very stylish, I suppose is the word to use, because obviously Anna Taylor-Joy is becoming such a star from the chess show Queen's Gambit. Also, I believe the vicar from Emma, the slimy one, Elton, is now playing Prince Charles in The Crown. So lots of topical threads to pull from that movie. I was really high, but I had a lot of fun with Invisible Man. I know, Pfeiffer, it's really hard to create a visual experience while typing. I suppose I could type like this, or just throw my keyboard at the wall and see if the jokes that results in are any better. Cool. Let's do some more. Balloon animals is just, I guess it's just going to be like my Clover tonight for those who are not improv nerds or improv survivors, as it were. Clover is a form of associative thinking where you always come back to a central idea. So balloon animals, and you go back off of it and you come back to balloon animals, as I'm doing right now. So what else am I thinking of? So from there, polka dots came from balloon animals. That was a pretty good departure. Balloon animals make me think of the park. Make me think of feeding birds at the park. Birds were back to birds. I saw a video on YouTube of a woman being attacked multiple times by the same angry goose. luckily was a match on the WWF, so the woman had a chance to respond with some what's it called, rope work, and bring things to a conclusion. Bring the fight conclusion that was satisfying. We're gonna add no disqualification. I am slowly learning things about wrestling completely against my will. We have a show. I swear I did not begin this train of thought to result in a plug, but I might as well lean into it now that I'm doing it. We have a show called Quarantine Action Wrestling Presents Pandemic every week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is simulated fights. The wrestlers have been designed to look like people who are also pretending to be the wrestlers in short comedic videos. So it's a combination of sketches and also like video game fights or the computer fights that pits two people together or more, and it's really funny. So definitely watch that if you are not in the middle of your own wrestling bout on Fight Island or wherever the UFC takes place now. Dwayne the Honk Johnson, I love that. Last movie you saw in theaters was Sonic. Oh no. Unless you liked it, I don't know. People have funny. People are allowed to like what they like. Don't yuck your yum. I saw a video on YouTube of a woman being attacked multiple times by the same angry goose. By the same goose, we can just say the same goose. Luckily, it was a no disqualification match, so the woman was able. So the woman had a chance to respond with some rope work and bring the fight to a satisfying conclusion. There we go. That's fine. See it? Dennis writes, Dennis Bruno, my friend, writes, she's funny. I'm high AF. I believe that means as fuck. Let's go. I'm glad that everyone should just watch my show while high. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. The Fiverr, I'm glad that it was fun. I'm glad it was at least fine. Watching my favorite movies are when hunky B-listers are coerced into driving CGI characters across the desert. This is how I would like to. Favorite movies are when hunky B-listers are coerced into driving CGI characters across the desert. This is, for me, the ideal road trip movie because I know ultimately that one person is by that I am watching one person be alone but unafraid, be alone but combating solitude with my favorite movies are when hunky B-listers are coerced into driving CGI characters across the desert. This is for me the ideal road trip movie I know ultimately that I am watching one person be alone, but pretend. One person be alone, but pretend not to be in a barren landscape, which is relatable to my own. Harsh, but rewarding a lifestyle. Beep. You know, what a relatable tweet. I'm nothing if not relatable, guys. I'm a relatable person. What's funny is that, like, it's too long. I mean, like, what's funny is that when you're stuck at your house enough, and when you're kind of sitting at your house hopelessly watching the world transform into a much worse world around you, and you feel completely stripped of your identity. You're like, I used to be on stage. They took that from me because they were too busy talking about how masks make you into communists. I'm so mad at them. They took my life. My favorite movies are when hunky Beatlisters are coerced into driving CGI characters across the desert. This is, for me, the ideal road trip movie. I know ultimately I'm watching one person be alone, but pretend not to be in a barren landscape. And what's more true? Here we go. Thinkertron says, masks make you into communists, femmes make you into anarchists. I like that. Masks. My ex-boyfriend just replied to a message I sent him about 2 hours ago of a video I liked. That's what just happened. Cool, masks. Well, we can write a mask Joker. Still irrelevant. My favorite part about wearing masks in public is that Bear ate the lower half of my face 3 months ago, and it has yet to present me any real dilemma, any real obstacles to my lifestyle, to my day-to-day, to my quotidian existence. Maybe wearing masks in public is that I buried the lower half of my face 3 months ago, and it's yet raise a single eyebrow, and yet to pose a problem. My favorite part about wearing masks in public is that a bear ate the lower half of my face 3 months ago, and it's yet to pose a difficulty. Do another one. Confirmed a reminder that agrarian society brings with it as many problems as it solves. You know, those ants would have preferred to be hunter-gatherers. I don't think I'm projecting onto them. even though I'm sure they could lift any projection cast on them. They are very strong. I don't even know. At a certain point, you don't even know if a joke is a joke. You're like, this is such a garden path sort of form of thinking that you're just like, I don't even know if it's really sort of joke. I think it's like joke shaped. It forms a reminder that agrarian society brings with it as many problems as it solves. Those ants would have preferred to be hunter-gatherers. No, I don't think I'm projecting onto them, even though I'm sure they could lift it. Lift my projections. They are very strong. Guys, we fucked up. We're hunter-gatherers. We'd be fucking fit. Would there be like 5 of us? Sure. There's a whole problems. Lots of problems. Cars are hard to draw. Pencils are hard to drive. Hard drives are pens to car. Nope, sorry. I thought I had something. Cars are hard to draw. Pencils are hard to drive. Hard drives are pens to car. Sorry, I thought I had something. There. Someone stole my car and pencil, and I was trying to make the best of it, best of things, through musing. These are a little bit on the. You can feel them. They're a little bit on the burly, the whirly gig side. Sometimes I just like to tweet through it. I would love to be like the main character of Twitter for being just too weird. They're like, Rachel, you're trending, and I'm like, oh, why? Did someone think a tweet I wrote was racist? They're like, no, they just thought your jokes were like a little bit too avant-garde. Let's keep going. Hard drives are pens to car. Okay, that's the last joke. They say to never be the main character of Twitter. My goal is to be what's another character? My goal is to be a guy on Twitter that is skeptical that Spider-Man is gonna do something good. Whoosh. Sometimes I don't even know if they're good jokes, but sometimes I just like to through the sheer will of wanting to get things onto the internet, just really like mowing down your enemies, just mowing it down. Car racing is fun if you have a car. You can tell I'm starting off sort of like, these are much more like garden pathy sentences, by which I mean like each word is sort of determined by the exact previous word behind it, not that there's like larger concepts sort of being devised. Car racing is fun if you have a car. and it races. Bicycle racing is really more appropriate if you have a bicycle. I have roller skates, so I've seen interesting opportunities have passed me by. That's not a joke at all. I'm like, if I keep writing, we'll find the joke. But we did not. A tweet that made me say, fuck it, why not? Sunsets are romantic because the sun looks like a boob. Okay. That might be the whole tweet. Sunsets are romantic because the sun looks like a boob. That is speaking the other side of a rock wall. At least I assume we're all hoping for rock wall. I had an intrigue. Matt thinks I've nailed it. Looking for rock wall. Hoping for rock wall sex. Rock wall fucks. What's the word? Not escapade. It's too long. Escapade's too long a word for this. Escapade. Synonym. I need a synonym. Give me those synonyms, baby. Escapade. Caper. Vagary. Hijinks. Folly. Frolic. A rock wall frolic. I like a rock for a roll in the hay, as they say. Sunsets over mountains. Romantic because the sun looks like a boob peeking from behind. I assume we were all hoping for a rock wall. Rock wall jaunt. Roguery, shenanigans, escapades. Everyone's like, I know, I gotta work for when you have the sex. Guys, I got it. Shenanigans. The problem is that it needs to be fast or else it gets dull. Roguery. Roguery is a little bit too curly for me. For rock wall, fuck. I'm just gonna tweet that. I don't think I have a good end to that. Let's do a couple more to close out the hour. I don't think I'm gonna go long tonight. I feel like I've had enough. I feel like you guys have probably had enough. This is not one of those 80-minute shows. I can tell. It's not. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're not. Cool. Let's do another one. Mickey Mouse is copyrighted. Disney cares about copyrights. Duck. Donald sucks. Donald Duck. Goofy. What's Goofy wear? He kind of like wears a fun thing, right? Ugh. You can tell I've had enough when I go when I click on the return key or the enter key in my case. Let's see. Goofy character. His kid named Max. He wears a vest. His hat looks. He's like lime green. Very strange. Well, sometimes he has a green hat and an orange shirt, and sometimes he has a green shirt and no hat. So obviously the modern retelling. He's yellow shirt here. He has at least. Oh, here he's wearing a sweater. Of course, there's some costumes. I'm just trying to get my mojo back. I'm like, I know it'll get my inspiration back. He looks like Gorsh. I like that he wears a vest because I feel like vests are like trying to like he deep down beneath the theatrical veneer, his deepest wish is to communicate some semblance of priority of what did I say? The semblance of fuck, what was that word I just used? Propriety. Alas, we know was never what God intended. I use God a lot. God is just like a funny idea. Ultimately, God is funny, guys. It's funny to invoke God in jokes that are not about spiritualism or religion at all. You're not expecting God to show up in a joke about Goofy. That's what is fun. Goofy wears a vest because deep down beneath the theatrical, veneer, he wishes his deepest wish is to communicate some semblance of propriety. Alas, as we know, it was never what God intended. Cool. And so we're at 10, so I'm going to write one more joke. If you can call these jokes, these are very weird jokes tonight. I don't want to say I'm unmoored, but it's a little bit weird. It's a weird feeling. It's a funny texture of tonight. It's an uncanny sense. Sherlock Holmes, Enola Holmes, kids from Stranger Things. Stranger than what? The child actors from Normal Things are fortunately making Hollywood Storm. The child actors from Normal Things are unfortunately struggling to win parts. The kids from Rings Stranger Normal. things have never the child actors from Stranger Things are taking Hollywood by storm. The child actors from Strange Things are struggling to win, are doing all right. Child actors from regular things have yet to strike the public. Yet to impact consciousness. Child actors from things have yet to be born. It's too long, it's probably too long. Oh, it's just right. Child actors from Stranger Things are taking Hollywood by storm. The child actors from Strange Things are doing all right. The child actors from regular things have yet to impact the public consciousness. The child actors from things have yet to be born. To this orchid. No, it's too long. It's fine. Treat it. Cool, guys. This is 10:03. I'm going to call it there. Thank you for watching. This was super fun. I'm very grateful for, of course, once more, your presence and your comments in the chat. It makes it so much more rewarding to feel that I am actually writing for someone or toward those out there in the greater consciousness, this collective consciousness that we share together right now. I hope you are well. I hope your families are doing well. Obviously, things will get better eventually, and right now we're not there yet. So please hang on in there. Don't get too sad, and keep on doing stuff you enjoy. Good night.